The movie begins by introducing 5 young friends on a road trip. Suddenly, a young woman steps directly into the path of their van. They swerve violently, narrowly avoiding a fatal collision. However, the woman continues walking with a completely blank expression. Seeing this, Erin and her friend step out and eventually persuade the stranger to join them in the vehicle. As they continue their journey with the mysterious woman, she becomes visibly terrified upon seeing a nearby slaughterhouse. "You're going the wrong way," she cries out. She then demands they stop and even grabs the steering wheel. Alarmed by her erratic behavior, the group pulls over. After exclaiming, "He's a madman. He'll kill everyone. You're going to die soon too," the young woman abruptly pulls a gun and commits suicide. Horrified and shaken, the 5 friends are left with the stranger's lifeless body in their van. Panicked over what to do with the corpse, they decide to call the police. They drive to a nearby gas station for help, where an elderly woman agrees to call the authorities. She informs them that the policeman has asked to meet them at a nearby mill. As they drive off with the body, the old woman watches them with a secretive, intense gaze. They arrive at the deserted mill, but the police officer is nowhere to be seen. Morgan suggests they should abandon the body, but Erin argues, she has parents too, right? We shouldn't do that. After a long wait, they enter a dilapidated house nearby seeking assistance. They only find a small boy inside, who tells them the officer won't come, he's probably at home, and gives them directions to the officer's house. Erin and Kemper walk towards the house, which stands isolated in the middle of a large field. Inside, they find an elderly man with no legs. He insists it is his house, not the policeman's, but reluctantly allows Erin inside to call for help. The old man hands her the phone, and she reports the incident. The policeman promises to arrive in half an hour. Meanwhile, the police officer has already arrived back at the mill. He questions the remaining friends, wraps the body, places it in his trunk, and drives away. At the same moment, the elderly man in the house falls from his wheelchair, and Erin rushes to help him. When Kemper realizes Erin has been gone for too long, he enters the house. He stumbles upon a hidden room where a deformed man, later known as Leatherface, strikes him on the head with a sledgehammer and drags his unconscious body to another room. Unaware of this, Erin searches for Kemper. The old man claims ignorance of his whereabouts, leading Erin to assume Kemper left and walked back to the mill. She returns to find her friends reporting that the officer took the body. When they realize Kemper hasn't returned, they start searching for him. During their search, they find a family photo in a heap of old cars. They instantly recognize the suicidal hitchhiker's family in the picture. They also notice scattered human teeth on the ground. Erin and Andy return to the old man's house, while the other 2 head back to the van. At the house, Erin distracts the old man with conversation while Andy sneaks inside. He is horrified to find human skin draped and hung inside. Leatherface, who has been watching, is alerted by a sudden noise. Erin rushes inside, calling for Andy. The old man, enraged that they entered without permission, yells, "Come on, my boy, take them." Immediately, Leatherface arrives with a chainsaw. Erin attempts to flee, but Leatherface severs Andy's leg as he runs behind her. Leatherface then lifts the screaming Andy, drags him to the basement room, and viciously tortures him before hanging him on a meat hook. He cruelly rubs salt into Andy's wounds. Leatherface begins sewing a new mask from Kemper's face, removing his old mask for the process. Andy attempts a futile escape. Meanwhile, Erin reaches the van and tries to start it to escape. Her friends question her about Andy and Kemper. Just then, the police officer reappears. Erin tearfully explains everything, but the officer finds drugs in their van. Dismissing their story as a lie, he becomes aggressive. He forces them out of the van at gunpoint. He then drags Morgan into the van, forcing him to reenact the suicide with the gun. Morgan, driven to desperation, points the gun at the officer and pulls the trigger, but it is unloaded. The enraged officer points his gun at Morgan, confiscates the van keys, arrests him, and drives him toward the old man's house, viciously beating him with a liquor bottle on the way. Just as the officer drives off, Erin manages to hotwire the van without the keys. However, the van immediately crashes as its tires fall off. Leatherface had been nearby and sabotaged it. He then rips the roof off the van and grabs Erin. Her remaining female friend flees, but Leatherface quickly catches and brutally murders her. Terrified, Erin watches as Leatherface slowly turns toward her. She is utterly shocked to see him wearing a new mask, Kemper's face. She leaps out of the van and runs for her life. She races to another house where a mother and her children live. She frantically tells them the story. The woman dismisses Leatherface as merely a boy with a skin disease who is a sin, a response that bewilders Erin. The family lovingly forces her to drink a cup of tea. Erin asks for a phone, but the young woman replies they have none. Erin then spots a photo of the suicidal hitchhiker in the house, realizing she has been tricked. She sees the young woman talking to someone and screams, "I know this isn't your kid. You're tricking me." As she turns to leave, she collapses, having been drugged. The wicked mother and daughters rejoice. When Erin wakes up, she is back at the old man's house, now surrounded by the entire family, the policeman, the old gas station woman who is Leatherface's mother, and others. They explain that the community mocked Leatherface for his skin disease, which is why the family hates and kills outsiders. They proceed to brutally beat her. The small boy, whom Erin had met earlier, witnesses this. Leatherface arrives and throws her into the basement. Inside, she finds a horrifying collection of dismembered human body parts and rotting corpses. Then, she sees her friend Andy, alive but mortally wounded and still hanging on the hook. She tries to lower him, but each attempt only makes the hook dig deeper into his flesh. In agonizing pain, Andy begs Erin to kill him. Tearfully, Erin takes a knife and ends his suffering. She then moves through the basement and finds a very weak Morgan. She helps him up and they try to escape. As Leatherface approaches with his weapon, the small boy appears and shows them a path outside. Leatherface is right behind them. Erin manages to pull the severely weakened Morgan out. As she is about to exit, Leatherface grabs her leg, but the boy intervenes, giving her just enough time to get out. She quickly slams the door shut and locks it. Leatherface, having pushed the boy away, starts cutting through the door with his weapon. Erin flees, carrying the dying Morgan, and they scramble into a nearby shack for shelter. She hides the unconscious Morgan and conceals herself in a small crevice. Leatherface enters and searches for them. Unfortunately, rats gather near their hiding spot and make a noise just as Leatherface is about to leave. He discovers them. As Leatherface prepares to kill Erin, Morgan sacrifices himself to save her. Leatherface impales Morgan on a hook and brutally murders him. Crying hysterically, Erin bolts out, with Leatherface in close pursuit. She reaches a barbed wire fence and easily climbs over, while Leatherface trips and gets caught on it. Erin makes it to the road, but a truck she flags down drives right past her. Without time to think, she runs into a meat packing factory. She barely gets inside before Leatherface follows. She hides among the hanging beef carcasses in the cold room. Leatherface enters, furiously slicing through the meat. Erin manages to grab a knife and hides inside a cabinet. She then screams out Leatherface's name. He moves toward the sound, but she remains silent. He opens a nearby cabinet, finding only a piglet. Erin, hiding in the opposite cabinet, lunges out and chops off Leatherface's right arm. She then races back out to the road and jumps in front of a passing truck. The driver lets her in and speeds away. As they drive, Erin recognizes the signs and realizes the driver is heading toward Leatherface's house. Crying out, "You're going the wrong way," she demands he stop. When he refuses, she leaps for the steering wheel. With no other option, the driver pulls over near the gas station. Erin jumps out of the truck and peers inside the gas station, seeing the entire Hewitt family, including the child they had possessed. The truck driver, seeking assistance, knocks on the gas station door. The family comes out, and the driver describes the strange girl, confirming their suspicion that it is Erin. The policeman goes out to search for her. When he returns inside, the family realizes that Erin escaped with the child they were holding captive. Erin attempts to hotwire the police car. The officer, gun in hand, approaches the truck. He looks inside, but the heavy rain obscures his vision. He opens the door to check, but Erin isn't there. Suddenly, the police car speeds forward and runs him over. Erin, who is successfully starting the police car, ensures his death by driving over his body multiple times. She drives away, with the little child safely beside her. Leatherface attempts one final attack, but without his right arm, he cannot grab her. The film ends with Leatherface watching in impotent rage as Erin escapes.